Hello and welcome to the first edition of Barnsley Local Television. My name is Sam.
And I'm Gabby, and with your help we want to tell our viewers, wherever you may be in the world, as this is on the internet, of the things that make Barnsley the unique place that it really is.
So we want you to come forward and bring forward your ideas and share them with others on our website.
Barnsley Local Television, which is produced by the Day Media Group, an entirely not-for-profit organisation and run by only a small number of staff.
Hopefully, with funding from the lottery and our many volunteers, including media students, we can provide programmes that you can get involved in.
Chairman Don Chamberlain told us this.
We see our role as a simple one, to help Barnsley communicate what it does best. Whether it's a community group or a business, it's essential that both communicate what they do well. And we think we can help them do that.
Thanks for that, Don. So now please help us by letting us know of events that you think are important by ringing or emailing.
We went out into the streets of Barnsley to find out what you think about local television, and here's some of the replies that we received.
An online TV programme, like news programme, would help it with Barnsley, like so you can like go online and check on the news instead of like having to go home and watch telly.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea. I think it's nice for everybody in Barnsley to have a voice, and I think for businesses particularly to get that chance and the opportunity is fantastic. I think it's all about community now, and I think obviously if people can be heard and say what they want to see happening, and you know, it gives that extra chance to get your point across. So I think it's fantastic for Barnsley. Yeah, I think it's great.
So what do you think of the thought of a new online TV station?
Well, it sounds better than
it does, because
no
if you don't watch
watches,
TV,
yeah.
but we're on online all the time, we'll be able to check it out, won't we?
You'll know what's hot and where's
I know everyone really watches like Netflix and all that. And very rarely take television
TV.
on and watch, you know, Channel 4 or like that.
With
very
news.
Rare, yeah.
We're promoting a new online TV programme, Barnsley Local News. So you can go online and catch out what's happening in Barnsley, news-wise. Do you think that would interest you?
It'd be better, wouldn't it? Like, because all I get on telly is North Yorkshire and everywhere else.
Barnsley Council has announced a £41 million plan which claims to future-proof the town centre. The plans include better shopping, parking and public areas, but will also retain the market area which the town is most famous for.
The plans also include a new town square expected in October 2016, which will feature an area where routes into the town centre meet, and this will be large enough for market stalls and public events. A new look Metropolitan Centre and Market Hall will be developed the year after that, along with a new shopping boulevard and central library.
The new look Barnsley will create more jobs and opportunities without having an effect on the council's revenue budget. Costs are being met by sales of assets as well as existing borrowing.
Councillor Sir Stephen Houghton, leader of the council, says he thought that the proposal will give confidence to local people and businesses.
Barnsley Town Centre Prospectus represents a huge commitment from Barnsley Council to the future of the town centre. £41 million has been allocated to make sure we get a better, brighter, more effective town centre than we've had before. It's an opportunity for businesses, the private sector, developers to come and work with us to create that better future. It's an opportunity to build new shops, leisure, retail for our people. It's an opportunity for visitors, for our own people here in Barnsley to enjoy a much better future. We need everyone around Barnsley to engage with us, work it through, ensure that we get all those attractions, all those improvements that everyone's been looking for. We hope, as the next 2 to 3 years evolve, that we get more businesses, more jobs, we get a better leisure facility that most people in Barnsley have been asking us for the last 10 years and beyond. What we really want is for everyone in Barnsley to engage in it. So please, when you get the chance to look at this on our website, when you get the chance to come and work with us as citizens, as businesses, please take up the offer. We are really going to have a better Barnsley in future, and we can do it together.
We asked the general public of Barnsley what they thought.
Hello, I'm Jade and I'm with Barnsley Local TV. Just wondering what people think of the changes in Barnsley Town Centre.
It's a progressive and in the right direction and money spent wisely. Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Tell me what you think of the changes in Barnsley Town Centre.
Oh, I've noticed them, they're getting a lot better now. Like you say, you've got seats. I did notice they took all them plants out, you know, what are looking quite a mess.
Let's have a nap.
Right, Jay, come on, let's be posh.
You don't have to be posh, just for you. What do you think of the changes in Barnsley Town Centre?
Well, to be truthful with you, we don't really know what's happening. Only thing we do miss, you know how they had a lot of seating?
Yeah.
We do miss that. But they've started putting those little table and chairs now, which is nice. So,
especially for old people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we found it pretty hard to do, haven't we? Finding somewhere to sit and do this.
But they have moved a lot of them and I don't know why.
But hopefully maybe they'll bring a bit more back, won't they?
Yeah, and the only thing I do miss is the trees.
You know what?
Flowers.
And you noticed? Oh, they've took a lot of trees down, yeah. I do miss them.
It's supposed to be bringing the market outside, but I think there's plenty of room to do that anyhow. And it's certainly as level as the rest of the town. I think they need a new theodolite, really. Something to level the ground up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, thank you very much.
All right.
Tell me what you think about the changes in Barnsley.
Well, from what I've seen on plans, they actually look quite good. But it's just a shame that they didn't really spend the money that they were going to spend before, because it was going to improve it a lot.
Barnsley businesses have been urged to be involved in regenerating the town, not only by putting in finance, but by encouraging staff to do community work.
Our very own Bob Britton spoke to Andrew Denniff, the Chief Executive of the Barnsley and Rotherham Chamber of Commerce, and he said the proposed changes were exciting and would look forward to the future.
He also said it'd be a win-win situation for everyone if businesses encourage their staff to do community work.
Can you tell us how you see Barnsley's business and commercial future developing, and what the main challenges are that it faces?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. The Chamber does have a key role to play within the region itself, but primarily here in Barnsley. As far as we're concerned, our job is to look after and represent the interests of around about 1,200 businesses across our patch. Barnsley and Rotherham Chamber came together about 8 years ago on the back of a merger between the two then independent chambers of commerce in both towns. And since then, it's been obviously our job to look after and represent the interests of all the members of the chamber. But obviously there are particular and relevant issues to deal with in both towns, and I think certainly the role the chamber has working with a number of partners, particularly with the local authority in Barnsley, in attempting to and now making some real progress in regenerating our economy, is a key position for the chamber to have. Rethinking Barnsley as a project, I think we have to look forward. I think one of the things that have been a great challenge for many people, particularly in Barnsley, is to change some of the mindsets that have been out there. If I can use the often used phrase, well, we'll leave it to the council, which has often been used over many years in Barnsley, that's not the case anymore. I think the council, the local authority, will be the first to admit that they have not the answers for everything, and it's by working in partnership, obviously with ourselves at the chamber, but with a number of other key players, that we can try to address by looking forward to what the Barnsley economy of the 21st century can achieve, that will give us some real results and some solutions to the problems that have been around for a number of years now in Barnsley. Very challenging enhancements that we're going to see in the town centre. That, again, is a council-led project. There is money that's available, and I think the difference between this and some of the other announcements that have been made around the economy over the past 5, 10, 15 years is there is real money to support the objectives here. Yes, it's public money to start with. I think the real challenge for certainly people like ourselves at the Chamber of Commerce is to encourage the private sector to get involved, not only in the delivery aspect of the entire project, but also in financing some of the really exciting things. Well, at the end of the day, we can do as much as we can, where we can, when we can, but unless nobody hears about it, it doesn't really achieve what we want it to. I think communication is vital. As a chamber, we have a very close working relationship with what you might call the traditional media in Barnsley. We're very close to the Chronicle, we work very closely with Durn FM, and only this very morning I've just finished an interview with BBC, with Radio Sheffield. I think an innovative project like local TV in Barnsley has to be embraced.
And that was Bob from the Chamber of Commerce.
Now, more Barnsley people are volunteering to work in the community and more community groups are setting up.
Bob spoke to Nigel Middlehurst, the Chief Executive of the Voluntary Action Barnsley, which is facing increased demands for help from the groups who are setting out to help others.
The primary objectives of Voluntary Action Barnsley are to provide a volunteer brokerage service for groups in Barnsley and volunteers in Barnsley. Secondly, to support organisations in Barnsley to meet their needs, and this could be anything from setting up an organisation in the first place, providing a constitution, community accounting, payroll services, etc., etc. And then thirdly, is to act as an umbrella for the voluntary community sector in Barnsley. And this usually, more often than not, means disseminating information, sending out news bulletins, information that may be relevant to the sector. We have somewhere in the region of 800-900 groups on our database at the moment. And it's quite reasonable to say there's more than that who don't have any contact with us. So we regularly send information out, whether it be around changes in employment legislation, safeguarding, whatever. And we provide information through various different networks. I think it's an interesting time at the moment. There's a lot of emphasis being put on volunteering. As a result of the recession and the economic austerity measures that have been brought in place, there's a great emphasis on volunteering. I think one thing we firstly need to be careful of is we don't undermine the volunteering that's already taking place and the community activity. It's always been important to a town like Barnsley to have a strong voluntary community sector.
Next up, a Barnsley animal charity, appropriately named BARC or BARC, which started up with just a handful of volunteers a few years ago and now claims to be one of the largest animal charities in Yorkshire.
But there is a problem. Not enough people are coming forward for the unwanted cats and dogs in their care. Our investigative reporter Max Senior went to Worth to check it out.
We live in a very throwaway society, so people get dogs for presents and then decide they don't want them when they're too big, boisterous and need training basically. And people will just kick them out. Well, we have 7 shops. We've got Cudworth, Woolwell, Hoyland Common, Goldthorpe and Swinton. So there is most of the money. We do get some donations, but not a great deal. This is Mac. He's a Staffordshire Bull Terrier cross champion, and we've had him for over 5 years now. He's overlooked because he's got a bit of a silly back, but he's a fantastic dog, as you can see, and he's very loving. We're just wanting someone to give him a chance really and actually get to know him and get past that back. He's a lovely boy. Yes. People come down and have a look at his animals, and then if they're interested in, say, a dog, we will get them to fill in some forms and we'll go out on a walk with the dog and the potential new owner. And then if they've got other dogs, we'll be mixing in the garden, and then we do home checks, very thorough home checks, like take the dog with us if they've got another dog to see how they are in the home. And then we do all the paperwork, and then even afterwards we still check up on them.
Next, we're going back in time to 1745, when there were skirmishes in this area between the rebels of Bonnie Prince Charlie and the forces of King George II. Our camera crew went to Wentworth Castle in Stainborough to film the battle reenactment.
Andrew, how do you sort of organise these reenactments? Well, we try and find sites such as Wentworth that have got a connection with the events of the 45. Obviously some of the places that the actual fighting took place or that the armies marched through we were able to go to. In the case of Wentworth, the connection is through the Earls of Strafford, who were the first Earl was involved in some of the Jacobite political activity, so we have a family connection to play on. The society is composed of half a dozen different groups, of which Dillon's Regiment, of which I'm part, is one. And we come together on these weekends about once a month over the summer. And the living history camps that you can see around you are set up by the different groups, so we keep a distinctive camp for the forces of King George II, and then the Jacobite army of Bonnie Prince Charlie and its French allies, and they are manned throughout the day by our reenactors. And then at various points in the day we frequently stage skirmish displays, we can do children's activities, we can do close-up show and tell talks where we show off the uniforms and the weapons that we used. And as I say, the camps are open all the day for the public to have a look and talk to the soldiers, and also the ladies who followed the armies. We try and cover civilian life as well, just to give a flavour of what life was like in the mid-18th century.
So this is really very much a sort of class in practical history for all the children and the spectators who come here.
Exactly so, and I think for the participants as well. We like to think of some of what we do as experimental archaeology. We try the recipes from the time, we try and use the drills and tactics of the time, and as you say, of course, it's all for the benefit of the visiting public as well, so hopefully everybody comes away having learnt something, including us.
Well, obviously a huge amount of effort goes into something like this, and you must always be looking for volunteers, Andrew.
Oh, very much so, yes. We welcome anybody really with interest in history or who would like to find out more. You join through one of the component groups of Lacewells, all the details of which are on our website, so you can find us online and there'll be contact details there, or alternatively you'll find the details of the events we're going to be at, and we welcome anybody coming to talk to us at events to find out more and have a go if they wish to.
So that was it, our first local news item from Barnsley Local Television. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back at regular intervals to tell you what's happening. In the meantime, please get in touch with anything you find that's important to the town. Until next time, see you later.